Let me try to unmute it and see if we can find out if the feedback is gone.
I disconnected from the phone. I connected with both Zoom and the phone because I was afraid I wouldn't get through. My internet's not really.
All right, we solved the problem then. Thank you. Okay. Spar versus Cook. We've got some parenting time complaints. I'm assuming by Mr. Cook.
Correct.
The first one is for the weekend of 8/7 to 8/9. The second one, the weekend from 8/21 to 8/23. The third from 9/4 until 9/6. And then there's an attachment. Give me a moment to read that. And Mr. Schmidt, you represent Ms. Spar?
No.
Okay, I can't. It says Tom Schmidt for Jennifer Spar. That usually tells me that it's an attorney relationship. You're not an attorney?
No.
What do you have to do with this case? You just muted your microphone.
He was just here for. He was just here for support for me, Your Honor.
All right. Oh, ma'am, do you acknowledge that you've been withholding the children from Mr. Cook?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Your Honor, to stay on task, I wrote down what I would like to say to you, and I will try to do it as quickly as possible. So I'll start out with.
I want a short answer first.
Okay.
Why have you been withholding?
Okay. Can I read to you what I've wrote down? Because I'll be able to stay on task. Okay.
Maybe. I want a short answer first.
Okay. The short answer is that we're in the middle of a pandemic. I am concerned about my children's safety. I've done everything that the CDC has required of me to take care of my children. The main concern is my children's endangerment. The main concern is that we've never really gotten to what I keep coming to court for, and that is the real problem has never been addressed. I want the court to know, first and foremost, that Carl is a violent person and that my children are horribly scared of them. I'll stop there and then I'll continue. I have much more to say about that. I'll continue with the coronavirus. I've done everything that the CDC has told me to do. And Carl has not.
I've heard it. I've heard enough, ma'am. I expect the parenting time to begin immediately. I expect from the time that Mr. Cook began insisting on his parenting time, which was when, sir? There was a period of time where you say you acknowledge that you tried to honor her.
I let her have them for over 6 months.
Yeah, and you finally said enough is enough. I want my parenting time.
You're on.
From the time you said enough is enough, approximately when was that? The time frames that are in here?
Yeah, basically, and there's a fourth one as well. You must have not got the fourth one. I just filed last week because you kept them last week as well.
All right, and remind me, what is the schedule supposed to be?
Every other weekend from 6 to 12, 6 o'clock Friday to 12 o'clock noon Sunday. So she has the 8 days that you have over her head right now.
All right,
Your
beginning
Honor,
this weekend,
Your Honor.
ma'am, I muted you for a reason. I don't want to hear any more. I've heard enough. Beginning this weekend and every weekend until all of the missed times since August 7th is made up.
Your Honor, I did not get a chance to explain to you the real reason.
I don't want to hear any more explanation, ma'am.
I've called the governor's office. They're doing an
If you speak again, ma'am, I'm just going to remove you from the courtroom. I expect this to be followed. So you missed 4 weekends since
I
you
can't
insisted
hear.
on your time?
Right.
Four weekends shall be made up, so he gets to see the girls
hear
every
anything.
weekend from now
I
until
can't
those are
hear
made up.
anything. Your Honor, please, I beg you, please listen to me, please. I have things that need to be said. I'm not being listened to. Please listen to me. Please listen to my
Ma'am,
kids.
I've listened to you ad nauseum for more hearings than I care to hear about again. I'm removing you from the
My children will
courtroom.
not get in the car. My children will.
So what Your Honor?
If she does not produce the children, I want you to file a motion for an order to show cause. It'll come right in front of me, and I'll deal with her then.
What's that called? Motion what?
Motion for order to show cause for denial of parenting time.
Or will she be in contempt?
Yes.
It's contempt now.
She is, and she'll be in a lot worse trouble if she doesn't follow this order. Okay?
Your Honor, is she gonna have to serve that time that you've already told her that she's going to?
She may very well have to, but not from this order. We'll see how she responds to this. My main concern is getting your children back to you, sir.
It's enabling her, it's like, she's gonna keep doing it because there's no repercussion. She keeps getting warned and warned and warned and warned.
Well, we'll see what
Nothing
happens,
ever
sir.
happens.
Just follow through with what I just told you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next up.
Hello?
Is this Carl Cook?
This is Carl Cook. I'm in on the Zoom. I can see the courtroom, but I don't know. I've never operated this before.
I saw you earlier when I didn't know when you sign in with just a type of phone. I can't tell who it is, and when I'm trying to figure out whether I have everybody present, I clicked on it. I recognized you in it. It shows you as being in the courtroom, but I've got no image and clearly no sound.
Okay. It just said, I had a message on the screen that said that you were going to get back with me here in a little bit. The host would get back with me and let me in. And that's just been
I clicked.
a white screen.
I clicked on it, but for whatever reason, it's not letting you back in. But you can participate by phone. Ms. Spot
Okay.
is present by Zoom. I'm going to ask you, please, don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt each other. I read Mr. Manzer's summary, and frankly, he describes what I often encounter when I have the two of you present in my courtroom, that you're both talking over each other and you're both talking over me. I don't want that to happen. So I
Yes, sir.
did review Ms. Spar's submission as to what happened when at the recent visit. I'm going to go through that just so that it's on the record. Let me find it. And I'll give you a chance to respond to this, Mr. Cook.
All right.
So my purpose today is not to take testimony, but rather simply to address the issue and figure out where we're going to go from here. So we're here on Ms. Spar's request to limit your parenting time to supervised parenting time. And here's what she described as the incident that occurred on Friday, September 25th. Carl and his mother Lois came to pick up Isabel and Chloe. Both girls were extremely scared and did not want to go with their father. I had to drag Chloe out of the house. Isabel put Chloe on her hip and promised she would be with her and not leave her side, and carried her to the car. Carl never said hello to either girl. As soon as they got in the car, Carl started screaming and cussing at both girls at the top of his lungs in front of his mother Lois. My mother and all my neighbors that were outside apparently witnessed all of this. This was before the car even left the curb. He had not seen Isabel in 5 months and had not been by to see Chloe in 2 months. Carl told Isabel she was going to be sent off for the weekend and that he was keeping Chloe by himself. Isabel spoke up and said she was not leaving her sister alone with him. Carl became extremely enraged. Carl's mother repeatedly told Carl to stop yelling. Carl balled his fist up and quickly threw it into the air towards the back seat. But stopped before he punched her. His mother Lois saw this happen. Isabel and Chloe were extremely scared. I have a video of what happened. When they arrived at Carl's house, he told Isabel, and I'm assuming this is hearsay, something Isabel repeated to Mom, that if she didn't leave, he was calling the police on her. Isabel said, "Call the police, but I'm not leaving my sister." Chloe was on Isabel's hip and hiding her face from Carl and crying. Carl said his house was not ready, that he had several things inside he needed to move and take care of. He told his mom to take them to her house. On his way to his mother's house, Carl called his mother and said, "Don't bring them back. I don't want to see their faces." So this is her description of what happened on September 25th. And like I said, I'm not taking testimony today, but I would like Mr. Cook to give you a chance to describe what happened on September 25th. And Ms. Spar, please do not interrupt him.
Okay, well, number one, about 90% of that is all lies to start off with. I didn't start yelling at the kids when I was in front of Jen's house before we left. I wasn't yelling. I did get in an argument with Isabel because she wasn't listening to what I was telling her to do. I told her she was going to stay at her grandmother's for the first night, and then in the morning I had a surprise for them, and then I told them that I was going to take them to Indiana Yogi Bear Campground, but Isabel wouldn't listen to me. She did say, I'm not leaving Chloe's side. I will not leave her side. They're both completely brainwashed. The mom makes me out to be the devil. And on top of the COVID thing, Daddy don't wear a mask. Daddy don't follow the rules, this type of thing. So she's so freaked out about that. Look, she got a mask on now? No, okay. Anyways, long story short, I had an argument with Isabel, and she wouldn't listen. I told her she was going to stay home. Why are you showing a picture of me to the camera? Anyways, this is just her way of manipulating the court and trying to take my rights away. I told you how I was nice and understanding with her being so scared and paranoid of COVID. I didn't even argue. I just said, okay, I'm going to let you have the kids. There was no argument. 6 months went by. Then why is she showing pictures of me? Can you see that, Judge?
I can.
Okay, well, I don't know why she's doing that, but that shows she's stalking. That's my Facebook picture. She's stalking my page.
Those are pictures you sent to Isabel.
But anyways,
Ms. Spire, don't interrupt.
Anyways, this is just her way of manipulating the system. She already had my kids now at 7+ months. I'm just a dad trying to see my kids, and she's making it out like, I don't know, like dad's the devil, and no matter what, you can't do nothing. You can't see my kids. I had to go up to a window for 6 months, a window on a porch. I mean, talk about feeling low, going to see your kid on your ex's porch, and I had to see her through a window. I couldn't hardly even have the window open to talk to my daughter. My oldest daughter's so twisted that she doesn't even come to the window. She didn't come to the door one time, say hi, Daddy, I love you, nothing. I bought her a $50 gift certificate. That's so annoying. $50 gift certificate to a clothing store. She didn't one time say hi or say thank you, Daddy, nothing. Nothing. So she's got my oldest so twisted that she is completely against me. Now I let her have both kids for a while, this 6-7 months. And now that time away from me, she has my other one so twisted that she's scared and doesn't want to come around. I mean, this is child manipulation. I mean, it's complete brainwash. This is at the point where I almost think there needs to be an investigation with her because she is hurting my children. I can't see my children, and I haven't done nothing wrong, and they're like scared to death. I can see how they're Chloe's so scared of like COVID. She doesn't. Try and tell her that there's nothing to worry about. You're not going to get COVID. You're not going to get sick. And they're wearing the mask on the porch. Like that's another thing. I don't get your order stated that I was not to get out of the car. I have not one time got out of the car since you stated that. It also states on that same order that that Jen is not to come out of the house. She has every single time come out of the house yelling, complaining, running her mouth. And I got it all on video.
So let me stop you. I anticipated you would have a completely different version of this event than Ms. Spar does, which is always the case when the two of you are in front of me. What intrigued me about this is we have a number of witnesses now to what did or didn't happen on September 25th. We have neighbors. We have your mother. We have Isabel, who I could hear from. I think Chloe's a little young. I wouldn't want to put her on the stand. I think I need to hear firsthand testimony as to what actually happened. So that's what I'm going to do. I want, if what she says happened is how you behaved, I have serious concerns about how that type of what impact that would have on your children. I'm not saying I believe her that it happened. I'm just saying that if it did happen the way she described it, it's extremely concerning to the court. If it didn't happen the way she described, her description of it as she has described it gives me grave concerns for why she's describing an incident in that way when it didn't happen that way.
Exactly.
The only way I'm going to get to the bottom of this is to schedule a time when I can hear testimony. I don't know what the problem is with your phone today. It may be that, I don't know. Do you have a good wireless signal, Mr. Cook?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do.
All right, so it should have been coming through. It looked like it started to earlier. When I do this hearing, I want to be able to see both of you in person, but I also want you on Zoom, because what I'm going to do is utilize the mute feature so that I can hear uninterrupted testimony. Mr. Cook, you've been very good today about not interrupting me. Ms. Spar, I can see it's been a real challenge for you to avoid that because you keep wanting to interrupt. But when I take testimony, I can't have you both talking at the same time. I can't have you behaving in the way that the referee described, which I'm not surprised because it's what I often see when you're in front of me. He said, both parties engaged in interrupting the speaker, in this case the referee, on numerous occasions. The hearing devolved into chronic and acute chaos, neither party showing any respect for the opposing party nor to the referee. Well, that probably describes many of the hearings in which I've had both of you present, and it just gets in the way. I want to be able to hear what really happened. I will make a decision based upon what happened. I've got several witnesses. I want them to be subpoenaed so that they will appear. They will appear by Zoom. That's the only way we do hearings. I'm going to find a date to do this just as soon as I possibly can, but I want to give you time to get subpoenas issued. In order to get a subpoena issued, what you do, there's a form that you can get. There's a legal help site. I think it's on a business card or something that you should have there, Peter. There should be a stack of them. I think it's called Michigan Legal Help. Do you see anything there?
I don't. Let me look.
Are they up on top, maybe?
Your Honor, if I may.
Just a second. I want to give you this information first.
Let me see if I move that into a journal.
Oh, you know what? I think there's some out on the podium, Peter. I think there might be under the first shelf on the podium. I think there's it's MichiganLegalHelp.com, something like that.
Yep.
Hey, bring me that, please. So, folks, you might want to write this down. If you want to get a subpoena issued, you prepare it, and you have to bring it to the court. I will sign it, and then you're responsible for serving it. It's MichiganLegalHelp.org. And I think they'll have information there about how to get a subpoena. I think the clerk's office actually has some blank ones, but you've got to make an appointment to get in there.
Your Honor, I have just a couple questions, if I might.
Well, hold on a minute. Mr. Cook wanted to say something, so I'm going to give him the first chance. Go ahead, Mr. Cook.
Thank you, Your Honor. Number one, I didn't ball in that story of hers, I didn't ball my fist up and swing into the back seat and act like I'm going to hit my girls. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I want to tell you who the information you're getting this from. She is a pathological liar.
Mr. Cook.
Okay, I just want to say this.
Let me stop you. I'm not hearing testimony today. I knew I would get two completely different versions of what happened. But what appeals to me here is that there are other witnesses. She says the neighbors heard it. Well, then subpoena the neighbors and I can ask them. She said your mother was in the car for the whole thing. I want her subpoenaed. I will hear from her. And then after I hear from everybody, I'll make a decision based upon who I believe is telling the truth.
Okay, one other thing, Your Honor. You realize you've given me 8 weeks in a row after 7 months and not seeing my kids, and now all of a sudden she has this crazy thing that, oh, you're the dad, he's acts like he's going to hit the girls and all this. This is complete BS. And I haven't seen my kids for 7 months, and this is her way of prolonging it. 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. I'm never going to see my kids.
Mr. Cook, I hear you loud and clear. That's why I want to get to the bottom of this once and for all.
Your Honor, can I say?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Too?
Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that everything that I put in this is 100% the truth. My children do not lie. And I
hear you.
There's open
Ma'am,
services.
today's not the day for the evidentiary hearing.
But I wanted to let you know.
I know your version of the events. Thank you. I now have a little flavor of Mr. Cook's version of the events. I'm going to hear from witnesses, and I will decide based upon that. I will give you, we'll find a date. We'll send it to both of you. We'll let you know when that is. Thank you. That concludes our.
Should I subpoena for services too, because they have an open case on it?
You can subpoena anyone you want, ma'am.
Okay.
Anybody you want me to hear from, okay? Same thing for you, Mr. Cook. All right, that's it for today, folks. You'll be getting something very soon. Have a good day.
Thank you.